In this video, I'm going to show you how to access the Cisco Modeling Labs for free. Cisco Modeling Labs enable us to create a highly accurate network simulation in a free virtual environment. It is considered as the second version of Vero. The personal version of CML is $199 per year. If you don't want to pay $199 or you don't want to install the software on your computer, you can access CML through Cisco DevNet Sandbox for free. The Cisco DevNet Sandbox gives developers and network engineers free access to live infrastructure. When you click Get Started with Sandbox, it will take you to the authentication page. You can use your GitHub account, Google account, Facebook account, or Cisco account to access to the sandbox. I already logged into the sandbox with my Cisco account. We can see all the labs in the lab page. I want to search for the modeling lab. There are two CML available. One is the personal version, one is the enterprise version. With the personal version, you can set up a topology with a maximum 20 nodes. Enterprise version support up to 300 nodes. Let's reserve the personal version lab. When you click the Reserve button, it will take you to the reservation page. From here, you can select the date and the time you want reserved for the lab. You can have up to 4 hours reservation. I just reserve it for 1 hour. We click Reserve. We can open more sessions for R2 or S1 connection. When we finish all labs, we can go back to the Simulate tab. We can stop all our equipment. Then we can go back to the Lab Manager page. Now we are on the lab page. We can see the status of the lab. The left-hand side is the overview of the lab. From here, we can find out information to access to our lab server. At this moment, you should receive an email from Cisco DevNet Sandbox telling us they are preparing the lab. This can take up to 10 minutes. To get access to our lab, we need to have Cisco AnyConnect VPN client software installed on our computer. So here is a link to download the VPN client software. It also has a link to the installation guide. I already downloaded the Cisco AnyConnect VPN client. Let's start the installation. There are many modules available for the AnyConnect VPN client. We only need to have call and VPN. After select the call and VPN, click the Install selected button to accept the license agreement. Finish the installation. Now we can go back to the lab page. We can see the lab is active. At the same time, we receive an email from Cisco telling us the lab is ready. The email includes a link for our VPN connection, also has a username and a password. If you don't want access to your email for the username and password, we can go to the lab page, click Output. We can see the VPN connection information from here. Let's copy the link. Start my VPN connection. Copy the username and the password. Now my VPN connection is established. After VPN connection is established, we can access to the modeling lab through this link. So it tells us the connection isn't private. We go to the advanced button. We continue to this website. Now we are in the CML Lab Manager page. We need to provide the username. The username is developer and check the password. Now the Lab Manager has a pre-built lab. This lab has 14 nodes. Click the lab, you can access to the lab topology. You can configure each individual device. We are not going to use this pre-built lab. We want to build our own lab. So go back to the lab manager. We stop this pre-built lab. Then we go to Add Lab to create our own lab. After we stop the pre-built lab, we can see the CPU and memory utilization drop a lot. So the lab we created has a default name. We want to give it a proper name. We call it as a Lab 1. Now we are in the CML workbench. We can add devices to build our topology. I'm going to pick up the IOSV router. Then get an iOS VL2 switch to connect these two routers. When we hover over the device, we can see the button to start the device. We also have button for the connection. I click the connection button, drag it to other device. Now we can see the interface available for our connection. On the first router, I'm going to pick up interface G00, connect to the switch G00 interface. Then I do the same for the switch and another router, and pick up the second interface on the switch and the first interface on the router. We can start each device individually or go to the Simulate Lab to start all devices in this lab. After I click Start Lab button, you can see a circle under the icon. That means the device is booting. When you see a green tick under the device, means this device is ready. We can click the device to change the device name. I will change the first router name to router 1. Change the second router's name to router 2. Change the switch name to switch 1. Then we can access to the console of each device. I go to the console port for the router, open the console connection, and I don't want to enter the initial configuration dialog. I'll do the same to the second router. I open the console for the switch. Now we can start to change the device configuration. I want to change the switch name as a switch 1. And I'm going to change the router's name to router 1 as well. We can use this console window to finish all our device configuration. Or we can use other terminal simulator to access our device for configuration. I'm going to use a party. Provide the host IP address 10.10.20.161. We use SSH. The username is developer The password is capital C1SCO1234 5. We can use the list command to list all available nodes. Now you can see we have Lab 1, which has 3 nodes, R1, R2, and R3. Each node has its node ID. We can use the open command to access to the console of individual device. So we need to provide the lab ID followed by the node ID. For R0, that is going to be N0. The console connection is LAN 0. So you can see now I got R1 prompt. I can use the show command to verify my R1 configuration. We can open more sessions for R2 or S1 connection. When we finish our labs, we can go back to the Simulate tab. We can stop all our equipment. Then we can go back to the Lab Manager page. From here, we can add new lab or import existing lab. In this video, I show you how to have free access to the CML and build your own topology for configuration. Thank you for watching.